The Electronic Entertainment Expo is the largest expo event in the world, advertising upcoming releases for the gaming scene coming out in the near future. Being such a big expo with tons of advertising potential, a lot of big gaming companies end up pulling out big stops for marketing gimmicks, renting out a huge exhibition center, having big piece showcases as a way to draw gamers' attention. But not Nintendo. They haven't had a live showing at E3 since 2013, instead opting to show their Nintendo Direct, a pre-recorded video presentation compiling different game trailers averaging 1 to 3 minutes. What's interesting about this is that Nintendo Directs aren't E3 specific events. In fact, E3's Direct was around the same length as other Directs that have taken place this year so far. And despite this lack of showing, many are saying that Nintendo won E3 despite their presentation lacking the grand scale of others, which is why I chose this Direct specifically as a point of analysis. When it comes to analysing what a Direct's trying to say, well, it's pretty easy. Buy our products. Because at the end of the day, what gamers are most interested in hearing about is games. Directs advertise by being structured a lot like presentations. They show you stuff you really want at the start to get you invested, they show you stuff at the end to get you watching all the way through, and then they shower you with as many different trailers as they can during the meantime. This gives each Direct a good chance of showing you at least something that will get you invested. In addition, the rapid-fire nature means that each trailer doesn't overstay its welcome, and the Direct's pacing doesn't suffer. That's an important point about presentations. If you go on too long, your audience loses interest and they switch off, meaning you lose any messages you're trying to get across to them. This was actually a criticism of many companies that attended E3 this year, but Nintendo avoided it by A, keeping the Direct to about 40 minutes, and B, having content that people actually gave a damn about. To wit, at the start and end of the Direct, we got trailers for Smash Bros, Luigi's Mansion 3, Animal Crossing, and a sequel to Breath of the Wild as their famous "oh, and one more thing" statement. All of these series being immensely popular franchises that could boast being system sellers in their own right. We know, and Nintendo know, that these are their most important products, so they put them in the places where they make the most impact, and also go more in depth with them. Consider the trailer for Luigi's Mansion 3 compared to, say, Contra. Luigi's Mansion 3 runs for about 3.5 minutes and goes in depth into what's happening in the game and what Luigi can do, while Contra runs for just over a minute and has no explanation of mechanics. Another important thing to note about Luigi's Mansion was that it was noted at all. All of these aforementioned big hits were commented upon in some way by the Direct presenters as a way of building anticipation for them, compared to the many other games shown during this Direct which were generally spiced back to back. Speaking of the presenters, it's worth talking about them as they are pretty integral to maintaining Nintendo's brand of fun for everyone and getting the Direct's message across. Nintendo is unique in that their corporate suits aren't afraid to interact with the wide masses and present the Directs themselves. Moreover, they aren't afraid to do silly things for a laugh, like when Nintendo presented E3 2015 in Muppet form, or that time Reggie and Iwata had a Dragon Ball Z battle, and even this presentation where there was an extended joke about Nintendo of America's new president, Doug Bowser.
Are you related?
No, but we get that a lot.
What does this do? It builds an important relationship between the viewers and the company. The same way you're more willing to take advice from a friend, Nintendo and their higher-ups acting so silly and friendly makes us more receptive towards them as a company and their practices. This has a twofold benefit. One is that it builds loyal consumers, keeping them buying Nintendo's products. And two is that it makes Nintendo seem like the good guy, in a landscape that's increasingly showing signs of corruption and exploitative practices, making consumers more morally comfortable with buying Nintendo's products. The way they look so friendly becomes obvious to anyone who watches a Direct. The presenters look straight into the camera with a well-lit mid-body shot, which highlights their facial expressions and hand gestures. They smile, they gesture, they speak in a warm tone. Everything about their presentation style oozes with the idea that they're as into games as the consumers are, down to the words, they say.
The latest game in a series that I personally love.
Maintaining this pure and innocent style is a part of Nintendo's brand, their image. It's how, despite the many games Nintendo has had and continues to make, people keep coming back to watch their directs and buy their products.